Welcome back to the No Chops podcast. I'm your host, Lump, Life's Ugly Money Problem. Today on episode 5, we have a special guest with us here. We have my dad, Reggie Walker, aka Ham. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Fine, fine. It's an honor to have you on the podcast.
You know that.
Growing up, my idols were Charles Barkley and Magic Johnson and Randall Cunningham, but you have always been my hero and my biggest inspiration. So it's an honor for you to be here. It's an honor for me to have you here.
Yeah.
And thank you for agreeing to be here. We're gonna cover some things. We talk about how you are my hero. We're gonna get into some things with you I've never actually discussed, which is like your early years and growing up. Another topic is gonna be high school and your military years. And then after that, we'll go into fatherhood and you running a business, and then retirement. Before we go any further, today is January 24th, 2024, and that means that your birthday was over the weekend on the 21st, and you turned 75 years old. Happy birthday belatedly. What
You didn't give me anything for it.
Yeah, you got a happy birthday because I'm broke. Listen,
Okay.
I know we'll make up for it in some way.
You
I'm in a hole as it is, and your birthday doesn't help. Well, we appreciate you being here. Okay. Shout out to Excellence. We're in Excellence Studios. Oh wow. Am I gonna have to do all that over again? No? All right, cool. Let's get into some early years stuff. You were born January 21st, 1949, to Anna Bernice McLemore and John Frank Walker. What's your earliest memory? What are some of your earlier memories? I guess would be like under 5 years old.
Playing out in the yard, the play yard in the projects.
You're originally from Richard Allen Project?
Yes.
Was it 10th and Brown or 11th?
Between 10th and 11th on Parish.
On Parish? Okay.
Parish. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You had two siblings from that marriage, from your mother and father, and one older sibling, right? So it was
Right.
Uncle Kenny
Yeah.
was the oldest, but they ended up giving
My cousin.
ended up giving my grandmother ended up giving her firstborn child to her oldest sister, or just older sister.
Older sister.
Yeah. Shout out.
Babe was the oldest.
Right. Shout out to Auntie Lucille Hamilton. And then there was Ernie first, Uncle Ernie, and then Vern first, and then Ernie. No, it was Ernie, and then Vern, then you.
Right.
So you was the baby. The
Yeah.
baby.
The cute baby.
The cute baby, the run of the litter.
Mm-hmm.
Some of your earliest schooling. Do you remember the names of the schools you went to?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because I remember my mother walking me down to school on Parish Street, Mary Channing Worcester Elementary School
Okay.
was at 8th and Parish. So when you walk out the projects onto Paris Street,
Mm-hmm.
is a straight shot.
So the school was right there.
You know, it's a couple blocks down,
Mm-hmm.
but straight shot. You know, and my first day of school, my mother walked me down there, and she asked me, "You got this?" Oh yeah. Born and raised around here, Mom. I'm good. What I didn't know was she followed me home.
To make sure you got there.
No, she, you know, we walked together going.
Mm-hmm.
She followed me back to make sure I knew where I was going.
Oh, okay.
And the next morning, she went and got a job with the school board.
Mm-hmm.
She went to work for school board. So she had all that.
Planned out.
Yes.
I remember one of my earliest memories is I think I was hanging out with Aunt Vern one day, and she took me to Girls High, and like then it was running the elevator or something at Girls High, and I think Charlene was still going there or had just graduated. I don't remember all of that, but I was real little. I do remember that. Let's fast forward to high school. How'd you end up at Mastbaum?
Well, when I left Mary Channing Worcester at 8th, the area junior high school was started Fleischer at 13th in Spring Garden.
Okay.
So when I left Mastbaum, I went up to up to started Fleischer for junior high school. And while I was at junior high, they said, well, we're having special tests to see if we could get any of y'all into a tech school. And the tech school in question this week is Mastbaum, Jules E. Mastbaum.
Home of the Panthers.
And I took the test and passed the test. Whereas everybody was going to Franklin.
Yeah, which was like y'all neighborhood high school, right?
Correct.
Because it was up the street.
Correct.
And for those that don't know, Mastbaum, it was Jules E. Mastbaum, AVTS, which meant Area Vocational Technical School. And I don't even think they do that anymore. In the vocational technical schools, they had different, not chapters, what were they called? You could pick different subjects. What subject did you take?
Auto mechanics.
You took auto mechanics?
Yes.
That explains a lot. Now I know why you're a car guy. Okay. And you graduated in 67? That was 10 years before I was born.
Is that why I was so happy?
Yeah, probably. You learned how to drive at Mastbaum.
Yes. Well, being in auto mechanics and being that we had a driving school at part of Mastbaum, all the mechanics got their license first.
Okay.
You know, because we had to drive.
Right.
You know, we had to learn to drive.
Did y'all have to like fix the teachers' cars?
If they brought them in, yes.
Okay.
And the area car, you know, the neighbor cars from the area. They bring their cars in.
It would be like light minor stuff, you know, replace a bulb or.
Well, I understand the fact that our major teacher was a bona fide mechanic. So anything they brought in, you know, he would tell us exactly what we needed to do.
Okay.
You know, then double check it before it went out.
Right, to make sure that y'all wasn't sending lemon back in the streets.
Right.
One last subject about your early years. Your faith. You're a very devout Baptist Christian, man.
Much more now than then.
Right. But so as like growing up, did y'all have to go to church every Sunday and go to revival
For yes, Bernie's. Oh, yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
church and so fast forwarding a lot, you went so when we was growing up, we were at because I was a member there as well at First Baptist Church of Pascal, and so first you started with the audio recordings, and then you moved to the trustee board, and then from the trustee board you became a deacon. Is that correct?
Basically, yes.
Okay. And in your time and years there, you have preached sermons?
Only in not from the roster.
You mean not from the pulpit?
Right.
Okay.
The roster. Not from there, but small classes.
Okay.
You know, just like I told you, I had to go to the deacon's dinner this coming Saturday.
Right.
Once a month they have one deacon preach.
Okay. Before y'all eat or after?
Before we eat.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, then we pig out.
Then y'all pig out.
Then we pig out.
Well, next time that you preach, I would appreciate it if you invited me, and I would definitely come out and
Well,
support.
it depends on how much money you offer me to remind you.
Yeah, listen.
Every time I bring up money, you go.
Because I'm broke. LUMP stands for Life's Ugly Money Problem. I am broke. The only reason why I've not been depressed as a father is because after I had a kid, I couldn't afford to be depressed anymore. It's not a thing that we need money in these pockets to become depressed. All right. Our next shout out to the Milk Vampire, who wanted to actually be here, but this is a little too late for him.
Yeah. Chopped him apart anyway.
Yeah. He he enjoys it so much. So you graduated from Mass Mom in '67. Did you play any sports at Mass Mom? No. Okay. Any recreational sports like basketball, football? No. Okay. How? So you're wearing your hat. You are a Vietnam veteran. How? And your branch of the military was the Air Force.
Correct.
How did you end up in the Air Force?
I went and put in for the Air Force down at Kensington and Allegheny.
Oh God, have you been past there lately?
Oh. Then you could sleep on the steps.
You can sleep on the steps outside.
At that time, you could sleep out on the steps.
You wouldn't have nothing to worry about.
No problems.
Yeah, we'll
None.
We'll update that. There's a gentleman by the name of Thomas Sowell, and he writes in one of his he's way much more than a writer, but he definitely is an author. And he said back in Harlem in like the 60s, he said it would be so hot in the buildings that like people would sleep outside on the steps, or like they wouldn't give people vagrancy tickets because it would be so hot that people would go to the park and sleep on the benches, and they would have nothing to worry about. Is that like that's around that same timeline? Is that like you said you could go outside and sleep on the steps?
No, because the way basically the project was built with all that metal and stone, you could sleep in the hallway because the hallway was always cooler.
Okay.
You know, the hallways were always cooler.
But you said you went down, you signed up at Kensington Allegheny. How long before they shipped you out? Or before,
Oh,
so to do, all right, so do all four of the military branches have like a basic training or
no, they had
like a boot camp before you go into anything?
everybody do.
Mm.
Each branch does, because they want to bring you up to speed to exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You know, once you get
So how
the basic training.
so how long before you deployed, or how long before you went to basic training after you signed, I guess, the paperwork?
Oh, it was 2-3 months. Because when I graduated, within a week I went into the service.
Oh, so you were signed up before you graduated high school?
Yes. Yes,
So-
I had it all in the works.
Okay. And what made you want to do that, or you just wanted to get
It
away?
was time to go.
It's time to go.
It was time to go. Because at 13, we moved out the projects and we moved up West Oak Lane to my aunt's house. Because she was up there in this big house by herself.
Aunt B.
Yes,
I remember Aunt B. Rest in peace, Aunt B.
right. We moved up to Aunt B's house. And my years at Mastbaum
Was closer to
was it was a little closer because jump on the trolley, jump on the L, get off at Allegheny, jump on the trolley.
They still had trolleys.
Yes,
They only got 5 of them now, and they all 5, 6, and 5 of the 6 go through Southwest Philly. The other is the 15, and they only do that as like a nostalgia thing. You went to the Air Force. You went through basic training.
at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas.
And how long was basic training? Like 6 weeks?
No, it was 8-12 weeks.
It was about 3 months.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
And at the time that was going on, the conflict in Vietnam had already started or was about to start.
Vietnam basically started in '61.
Why do you
They
say
were
that?
keeping it under wraps.
Oh,
We had soldiers there. Not as many as ended up being there,
right.
but the United States had soldiers there already,
Okay.
in and out, in and out.
And so that was 7 years before you got there.
Mm-hmm.
So you ended up there in 1968.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because I spent, when I came back from Lackland Air Force Base,
Hmm.
I went to Suffolk County Air Force Base on Long Island in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to Suffolk County Air Force Base on Long Island for about a year. A little less than a year.
And while you were up there, you would come back and visit home
Oh, no question. No question.
because it's a lot closer than Texas. And I'm pretty sure during basic training, y'all wasn't really allowed to leave
No, they wanted you to finish
the basic
so
training.
we could get your head right
Mhm.
before you leave us, But
So you did a year in Long Island at Suffolk Air Force Base,
mm-hmm.
and then from there, did they deploy you to Vietnam itself? Or
Yeah, well, basically they asked you, do you want to go
they asked you?
to Vietnam? Yes.
Wait, I didn't know it was an ask involved. I figured they just.
The Army, they didn't ask.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Marines, they didn't ask.
They knew what it was.
Navy, you basically on the ship So they did
Yeah,
that.
Vietnam wasn't really they twist.
Well, no, they asked us.
Mm.
Yeah. Because, you would get, that combat money,
Mm-hmm.
which was that you get your regular pay plus the combat money,
Okay. And how long were you in Vietnam?
I was in Vietnam for a year.
For 1 year. And what did you do for the Air Force?
No, they had me connected to the fire department.
Okay.
They had me connected to the fire department from which air rescue comes out of.
Mm-hmm.
So every now and then I would ease over to the choppers for a month or two, then come back to the fire department.
So you were a firefighter in Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
but not in America.
Mm-mm.
Okay. But it was the military position that had you.
Yes.
Okay. And so as a military firefighter, y'all wouldn't just go to, like, if y'all in a city there would be like a fire, y'all wouldn't.
Yes.
Y'all would just go put out fires for the locals?
Yes, if they needed.
If
they had a big fire
mm-hmm.
in the area,
Right.
we
Y'all would slide out.
Yes.
Okay.
And they would welcome us.
Oh, of course. You coming to put the fire out. What did you do with the helicopters or on the helicopters?
I was a rescue man.
So like y'all would go in and save other military? Oh, okay.
We would pararescue. We would, in Long Island, we get a call, a bad accident,
Mm-hmm.
and we would jump in the chopper and go down there. And if they were packed in a terrible accident,
Mm-hmm.
we would break out the jaws of life
Yikes.
and jack them out of there. Hey.
And so that was before you even went to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And did you see? Were you a participant in the war itself?
Yes.
In what capacity?
Rescue.
Just rescuing people.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I remember our base sat in a valley.
In Vietnam.
Yes.
You remember the name of the city?
Oh, yeah. Nha Trang.
Okay.
Nha Trang, South Vietnam. And the air base sat in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
And the town sat basically at the top of the hill. And you could go to town. This club outside,
Mm-hmm.
you could sit there and look down on the air base. See basically everything going on.
Oh wow.
Payday. Very few people left the base on payday till they got their money.
Right.
Care about no money. I want to get out and go downtown. One day, the bus I normally caught, and this was a military bus.
Okay.
It wasn't funny. Airmen went to get off the bus, and when they opened the door, some Vietnamese ran up to him, jammed the package in his hand, closed the door, and ran, and the front of the bus blew up. At my stop,
This was a bus you were
on my day.
but you didn't go.
That day, no. Only because we only got
My apologies for laughing at that.
basically the first 2 or 3 days of the month.
Okay.
Because it'll be gone.
It was new shipment and
So
everybody
then
drinking.
it's chocolate the rest of the month.
Mm.
It was chocolate the rest of the month. I guess that's why I don't like chocolate milk now. You know, and still love white milk. You know, but I would stand at the milk machine and drink milk.
It just keep
I
buying.
guess I'd stand there and drink almost a gallon of milk. And this was the same day that at my stop,
Okay.
they stuffed.
Oh, the bombing dude's arms.
Yep.
You stand there drinking milk.
Always, yes. I always tried to be the first one out the door at that stop. You know, I positioned myself to
Right.
be the first one out the door. Boom.
And that particular day, you ain't even get on the bus. You just drinking milk.
No, I ended up going downtown later.
Okay.
No, I ended up going downtown later
Mm.
and found out what had happened.
Oh, wow.
You know?
And that could have been you.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been you.
Because another payday, I didn't feel like going downtown. We had a hard shift because we were on 24 hours
Mm.
and off 24.
Ugh,
On 24,
that sounds
off
terrible.
20. Well, it worked out. And I decided I'm going back to the barracks. I'm not going downtown. Had a little girlfriend downtown. I'll see her later.
Time out. You had a girlfriend in
Downtown?
in Vietnam?
Yes.
Not even going to continue.
Mm-hmm. You got brothers and sisters over there.
But yeah, I probably do. Yeah, you
Hey,
dropping them off, huh? Letting her have it.
hey. Like-
Your brothers and sisters are in Vietnam. Yikes.
I went back to the barracks and we had 2 women keeping the barracks clean.
Okay.
I'm trying, jumped in the shower. I'm trying to get in my hooch.
Get in your hooch. Oh, drink some liquor and go to bed.
Bed.
Okay. That's odd because I've never known you to drink. Continue on.
No, I've never, very rarely heavy drinker.
Mm.
But
A little taste here and
some
there.
milk, some water, to sleep on.
Oh, okay. All right. So you didn't mean liquor. You just
No,
meant.
I'm not.
Yeah, the word hooch. That's alcohol usually.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was.
Apparently.
And Mama Sign came in, and Mama Sign was young girl.
Y'all just named her that because she was the
We
that mother.
named her
Yeah. Okay.
Mama Sign.
Right. I get it.
Yo, you can't stay here today. You got a DD mile. Get out.
What's DD mama?
Get out.
Oh, that's what that means.
DD mile. Get out. Go down. Go. You don't even have to go downtown. Wherever you go there.
She says this to you in English.
You're not broken English, but you don't be here during the day.
Right.
You know, your days off, you don't be here, and you know the 24
You wasn't there. Right.
Reggie, she got on my nerves so bad. I ended up cursing her out. Going down, getting on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
going downtown, and I had this one table that I sat at downtown where I could look at the base. And I'm sitting there looking at the base. all of a sudden I hear these missiles. Payday, first of the month.
Mm-hmm.
All these missiles start hitting the base. All these people were killed, maimed. I'm sitting downtown looking at the missiles go.
Yikes.
And they wanted to know afterwards, how did I know?
Not to be there.
Who told me that after the Mama Sign told me to get out? I say, Mama Sign told you? Yes, she did.
She begged. She
11:30. All the Vietnamese workers left.
for
The
no
big-
apparent reason. So she kicked you out, then her and everybody else left.
Once they finished cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
but they were all leaving out about 11:30
And what time?
in the noon. The rockets hit the base at noon.
And you were one of how many survivors? Do you know?
I was sitting downtown. I didn't get scratched.
No, I'm saying you survived.
Yes.
How many other survivors? How many of the rest of y'all were downtown? Just you?
I would say it was maybe 100 of us downtown.
Oh
I
Lord.
think the base was had like 3,200 people.
Mm.
You know, payday, people
Yeah, they going to spend their money. Yeah,
waiting
Probably.
to get paid.
send money home, that kind of thing. What made you leave the military, or how did you leave the military?
The enlistment was up.
You had done your time.
Yeah,
Okay,
time to go home.
fair enough. All right. The next segment is basically your children, which and business and skills. From what I understand, you made me. This is what I've been told. Yeah, you. Yeah, this is where I get to get you, because you like playing with me, and I'm not the one.
No,
We gonna do this now.
you must have been cute at that.
I must have been. I got pictures. Listen. So I know that you are my father for many reasons, but the main one being you told me the date, the time, and the place where I was conceived. You are a terrible
I
person.
must have blocked it out.
Yeah, all right. You blocked what? You don't remember telling me that? No, you don't? I guarantee you I can tell you where it was. Do you remember your first wedding day?
Mm-hmm. It was a dark.
And why was it a dark day, sir?
I should have never did it.
Fair enough. You're allowed to feel that way in hindsight. All right, so this is a question that also syncs up with a television show. How did you meet my mother?
I knew her father, and he introduced me to his daughter.
How did you know the father?
I knew him from the clubs and the bars we were running. You know,
Back here in Philly.
definitely. Lancaster Avenue. Used to hang out in the 4100 block of Lancaster Avenue. The Gaiety Bar.
That's what the name. It was the Gaiety Bar.
Mhm.
Okay.
That was the name of the bar.
hmm And you met her father there, and he introduced you to his daughter.
No,
Okay.
I met her father there.
hmm
And running past his house during different times, I ran into his daughter.
Okay.
You know, 'cause he was older than me.
I would assume so.
He was older, you know.
Um, all right, so you were married March 14th, 1977.
Is that right?
Is that correct?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. You don't remember. This is me fact checking you. You told me I was made. Y'all got married the day Elvis died. Can we double check that? Can we find out what day Elvis died?
I blocked it out.
I bet you. Yeah, you keep saying that. You blocked it out. Yeah, all right. Then that was a lie.
Among other things.
Right. Hey, you. So March 14th, 1977, you get married. Y'all get married. My mother, her name is Myra Jean. And if you're out there, please contact us. We miss you. Y'all got married. You lived at 40th and Girard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Above the cleaners?
Mm-hmm.
I know this because my dad told me where and how I was conceived. This is the type of stuff that I had to grow up with. Yes, yeah. What, they didn't make me in a lab, sir. It was you. I was told that I was brought home. Well, y'all had moved to Hunter Street in West Philly? What was that? Yeah. Okay. You bought a house.
Bought a house on Hunter. 5742 Hunter.
And I was brought home in the 7 foot of snow in 77.
Yeah, in a milk crate.
In a milk crate. Is that true, or you just
No,
you just
in a
playing?
milk crate.
You had me in a milk crate swaddled in a blanket.
Yes. Tried to drop you.
Yeah. See. This is what I had to fucking grow up with. This shit. He tried to drop me off in a fucking milk crate. Hey, I'm pretty sure he did.
With signs on.
So written in marker.
Oh no.
It couldn't be small writing. It's a crate.
Yes. Big writing. Free to a good family.
Free to a good family, and nobody would take me. No takers. What kind of work were you doing when I was born?
And then I guess I was working at a couple warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So after stupid questions apartment. After you got back from, your deployment, you didn't try to like be a regular firefighter?
No.
Okay.
It's too dark.
I understand what that means. It was a different time. So what did you do for money in the 10 years before you married my mother? That's just a regular question. That's not, I don't have any, I'm not leading anywhere, as said.
Worked anywhere I could work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had several jobs in that 10-year period till I ended up going past Uncle Willie's.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, you might as well come up here with me. And I'll teach you how to repair appliances.
Right. And so he, for Uncle Willie, William Hamilton, where we get the Hamilton name from, was Auntie's husband. My grandmother, his mother's older sister, husband. Uncle Willie was like a grandfather to me. He was a good dude. I remember when I remember being a kid, and we was at the store, and you had to run some sort of errand. I don't know what, but you was like, I can't take Reggie with me. And Uncle was like, "It's cool. I'll take him with me." And we in the truck. He used to drive this big box like a bread truck that had a stick shift. And I remember riding through West Philly with him. That particular day. That's the only memory I really have of Uncle Willie. Just riding in the truck with him, as a child.
The service truck.
Yeah, it was a service truck. The store started at 60th and Sansom. Was it Sansom or what's that other little street? Not Sansom.
Whatever he was on 208 South 60th. Yeah, 208 South 60th. Then we, bought the store on 52nd. 506.
Yeah, 506 South 52nd Street, next to the Chinese store. Come on, get it. You were a shipbuilder? Here in Philly or just down in, was it Norfolk? Was it Newport News? We used to live in Virginia.
But I started at Sun Ship in Chester.
Okay.
And I was down there 3 years. Because I went through the autumn, their apprenticeship program. And completed the apprenticeship program. That's why when they decided to close Sun Ship, I was given paperwork to work
in Virginia,
in Norfolk.
Okay. And we were down there a year?
A little over a year.
I remember the only vivid memory I have of living in Virginia is, first of all, you told me Jamie helped us move. Rest in peace to cousin Jamie. Helped pack the truck up. But you said we left the day the Sixers had their parade in '83. I remember you saying that. The only memory I have is when we lived in Virginia, it used to be a little white boy that used to come over the house all the time, and we were like tight friends. I don't remember his name. I just remember there was a little guy about my same size in Virginia. And in Virginia, that's that. And there used to be, whatever supermarket we went to, there used to be a lady there with a big afro. And I remember us going back years later, and she was still working at the same supermarket. Those are the only two memories I have of Virginia, growing up there or being there for that particular time.
That little white boy's name.
I do not remember.
When his mother wasn't around, he would call me Dad, because y'all would call me Dad.
It was me, Sharita, and eventually Jonathan. Sheesh, rest in peace to Jonathan.
And we're driving. We used to go and come through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and Tunnel. Because we were going into Norfolk. And I'm driving, and the state policeman pulled up, Virginia state policeman pulled up alongside of me. And me and him made eye contact. And he looked in there and he saw Sharita and saw Carol.
Rest in peace to Carol.
Saw Jonathan.
Rest in peace to Jonathan.
But I don't remember that boy's name. He saw that little white boy and he threw his lights on.
Wait a minute. Yo, that would be funny for a skit.
And I pulled up, and he wanted to ask,
why do you have this little white child?
This white child in this car. But what killed him was every time I start asking different people things in the car, he would always address me as Dad. And that state policeman. Why is he calling you that?
We know he not joking. We know.
I'm sure his mind was going through. Why is this child calling you Dad?
All right. So, of course, you come back in what, 86, 85? We came back in 85.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically owned and operated Hamilton Washington Dryer Service.
About a year, 2 years after that. Because me and Pop, we worked together for a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
before he retired.
And he retired in 86. I remember that because he
Took
passed
the
right.
store with me.
I know you got a million stories about the store. I know you do. Yeah, you do. I know you do. Remember that? One of the. All right, so this is another reason why you are my hero without you knowing it. And I don't know if you did it on purpose, but when I turned 8 years old, you started taking me into people's houses.
Trying to see if anybody wanted to.
Right. So, why? So you started taking me into people's houses, and then when
You ain't talking about the sign you had.
what sign? There was no sign. What sign did I have?
Free to a good home.
The free to a good. Oh, so you took it off the crate and just put it on my, pinned it on my shirt.
Hey,
I was in the middle of giving you your flowers, and you cut me off with this foolishness. So when I was 8, you started taking me every weekend. You would make me go with you to the store on Saturdays, and every summer I would go with you. Why? Can I ask why just me? And for those that don't know, I had a younger brother named Jonathan, and he passed away in 2018. We buried him 2 days before the Eagles won the Super Bowl. We'll tell that story later. But why would you just take me and not Jonathan as well? When you went on like service calls and stuff? Like, yeah, I was basically mechanically inclined at 10.
right.
And
Jonathan wasn't.
right, he definitely was not. And then I guess after high school, it was no choice but to come in and continue to work with you, for you. We had a lot of.
You think about it, then his mother had it
Yeah,
a lot of that time.
some of that time. I remember one of my earliest memories of Myra is me. I remember you dropping me off over there, and she had 2 high chairs, and one was higher than the other. And she sat me in the big one instead of the small one, and Jonathan was in the smaller one. He just would not stop crying this particular day. I remember when we went. I remember when we went to court for custody of Jonathan. I remember that day. I remember that. Before we get to that, though, one of the greatest stories you've ever told me is how you ended up with custody of me. Because do you care to enlighten? Like, because from what I remember, you told me y'all was having like a bad falling out over me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you could take it from there, I guess, that day in the courtroom.
No, you tell it.
From what I understand, why I got to tell a story? It's your story.
But you didn't added so much stuff.
I didn't add nothing to it. If you tell a story, they gonna know you told it. Like, I'm not telling. I haven't said anything.
No,
This
if
is
you say anything wrong, I'll correct
this is a trap. Do not know, Dad. Come on, that's not fair. I want you to tell me what happened the day that we went to court for custody of myself.
you. I don't remember.
Oh, you corny as hell for that.
I blocked it out.
You blocked out a lot of things.
Yes.
Terrible. Is that so? So from the story that you told me yourself, I guess when I was old enough to understand.
You understand now?
Just now, right? Y'all went to court. I don't know what happened before this particular day, but it got so heated that the judge invited y'all back to, was it a man or a woman?
Man.
His chambers.
Yes.
And basically, it was just y'all two and me and him, and he was holding me, and he said, "Whoever, I'm gonna put this baby on the floor,
Yep.
and whoever he crawled to, he going home with."
That's right.
And so he put me on the floor, and I crawled to you, and then you've been stuck with me for. I'm 46 now.
You didn't mention the pork chop around my neck.
The pork chop. I don't even eat pork chops. I haven't had a good pork chop since I was 10 years old.
You saw that pork chop?
Shout out to Aunt Barbara. That was the last pork chop I ever had. You just going for it today, huh? You having too much fun here, sir. I'm gonna need you to relax. So how why did your first marriage end?
She had these little girlfriends, and none of them had husbands, regular boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And she did.
And she was married
Correct.
to a man with a dad.
Hey. And they wanted her out there with them.
And she chose them.
Yes.
Fair enough.
She regretted it. It didn't take long for her to regret it, and I wasn't going back for her to leave again.
Right. Yeah. Hey. I completely understand that. Of all the jobs that you've had, what was your favorite job?
Oh, it would have to be Hamilton Water Service.
Yeah. That was the majority of it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. How many times did you fire me? Let's get to it. Do you remember? I don't have an official number.
No, well, I'll put it this way. It got to the point where the police would come and say, "You can't fire her."
Yeah, all right. The cops ain't never come tell you can't fire your own fucking kid. That did not happen. That did not happen at all. There was a trillion stories going on in that place. I was basically the assistant manager from '96 until it closed. Even though I got fired. I got fired and you kicked me out the house. Told me I had to shave all my hair and take out the earrings and the pants and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Take the mini skirts off.
I never wore a mini skirt. That never happened. That never happened. Never. Not once. Yeah. I was waiting because I knew that was coming. I knew. Nah. It had to be a reason why I always wanted my hair long.
Your boy didn't see this one.
He's watching. He knows what's going on. Shout out to Excellence. So many characters that came through the store. So many.
One day, this guy, there's so many characters.
So many.
But young boy, a little older than you, walked past the store and we would put all the appliances, not all of them, most of the appliances out, lined up in front of the store, in front of the building. And this young boy stopped and he said, "Dad, you give me a couple dollars and I won't tell Mom you down."
To you?
Straight face. Said, "A couple dollars now. I will not go home because I'm on the way home and tell Mom exactly where you're at.
Oh my God.
And she come down here and you'll have a whole bunch of problems." And I stood there and I laughed till my stomach started hurting. But this boy would come past there. He wouldn't come every week. He walked past once, twice a month and start that mess. I'm telling you, Dad, you better give me some money.
and that was y'all interplay.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. I got so many stories. One of my favorites. Shout out to Charles. I don't even remember his last name. But you, Charles, and somebody else was in the store. And I was the only person that smoked cigarettes. And it was not a cold day, but it was cold enough to have the front door closed. And so the door was closed, and I'm leaning on the first machine, and I'm smoking this cigarette. Guy walks up, opens the refrigerator door, looks inside, closes it. I said, "Man, these things are pretty clean." I said, "Yeah, I just knocked them off myself. I just cleaned them up myself." He says, "Do you guys come to people's houses to clean their refrigerators?" And it's not many times in life where you hear the dumbest thing you've ever heard. And my immediate response was, "I don't know. We should go inside and ask." Oh my God. I slow walked that boy right in the building. I said, my dad's sitting at the desk like this, and dude walks in, and he looks at me first, and I said, "Dad, the gentleman has a question for you." He said, "Do y'all come to people's houses and clean their refrigerators out?" My dad looked this dude in the face, said, "If you don't get your nasty ass the fuck out of my shop." Yo. Oh my God, I cried. Oh my God, I laughed so hard.
Kodak moment.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Kodak moment.
Oh. Shit. I don't even have time for the D-Land story.
This woman, guy came past and bought a refrigerator for his girlfriend, and he bought all these balloons to give to her when we deliver the refrigerator.
Okay.
And we got all these balloons, we have one seat, single bench seat.
Mm-hmm.
We got all these balloons stuffed inside the door.
Inside the truck.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you open the door, you got to watch.
Because the balloon about.
We messed around, and Charles opened the door and the balloons got out.
Okay.
And they're rising to the abyss. And we ringing the doorbell, and the woman finally came up and said, "There go your balloons."
Surprise.
Yeah. Don't they look good?
Here's your refrigerator. Sign this.
Hey.
You closed Hamilton Washer and Dryer Service in 2011. What it was the taxes on the building.
And the store slowed up. Sales are slowed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then everything was going up. You ended up working for the city. From what 20? I remember in 2012 you was working for that van service, the ones that be backing up SEPTA. What's that called?
The ones that be backing up SEPTA.
The ones that go pick up the old folks.
Oh, you mean
the paratransit? Yeah, CCT. That's what it is. Yeah, you worked for them for a year, and I know you hated that job because you was on call for 12 hours or something like that. You had to work at least 10 hours, and then you were on call for 12 or something along them lines. Something crazy you should say. You hated that job. Yeah, yeah, I believe you blocked that part out. And then you ended up working for the city. Now, how many times did you take the city test?
Once.
Just once?
Once.
Okay, I took the city test 3 times. I scored above 90 all 3 times. But the time you took it, we was there the same day because it was what, Central High?
Mm-hmm.
And we took the test, and I had a better test score than you, but you won. I'm sorry. Just the test, I had a better grade, but you had incentives because you were a veteran and XYZ. Yeah, which was, yeah. You little stinking ass city job anyway. Listen, and so you worked for them basically for 10 years and
10 years to the day.
And you retired. So congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
What's it feel like to stop working?
Strange.
Nothing to do.
Lay there, rest, look at TV.
You still got to get up and do stuff.
Try not to.
And I believe you've earned that, so I can't even. Congratulations to you on that. I asked about the first wife. I asked about your siblings. Your cousin asked about the first wife. Your second wife. How did you meet? How did you meet your second wife?
All my wives came from church.
Okay. All right. That's a good pool to start from, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that was...
Yeah, don't say the wrong thing. You're going to get a beat.
Tried to tell my second wife, the one thing you don't have to worry about, I will never leave you. And I made her understand. So when she made up her mind to get rid of me, she had to divorce me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to divorce her. Because I said, number 2, that was it. You know, I plan on not doing that no more.
Right.
You know. And she regretted it. She ended up regretting it too. I was a pain in the behind, but I wasn't that much of a pain in the behind.
Fair enough. Then I remember as a teenager and I guess a young man, you really fighting for that relationship, doing everything that you could and being present for that. Stupid questions department. You found all your wives in church. I got that part. How did you end up? Well, your last 2 wives, because I never ate my mother's cooking. Could she cook? I guess that's the question. Myra.
Yeah, she cooked all right. She was nowhere near as good as Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
And
flow better than Tracy.
Correct.
And that's crazy. How do you keep picking women that know how to cook so good? What is how that to me that is amazing. I like we like all right. So me and Jonathan, we weren't ever skinny, right? But when you married Tracy and she introduced us to sandwiches, it was a wrap. Like we was fat from that point on. Like I don't know. He been here 75 years.
That's what they told me. I think I only been here 34.
Nah, my nigga, that's not possible because I'm 46. So that's the math on that. No bueno. Can you name for me your 3 favorite people from this lifetime so far? And I know I don't make that list, and I don't really care that I don't. Like you've lived a story
Make
life.
the list?
I know I didn't make that list. Exactly. Who would your 3 favorite people be?
I guess I would have to put on there my boy Louis from Richard Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And as much fun as I had with Charles.
Oh, really? That's great. Charlie Brown. He was the coolest. He is the coolest. He was a cool dude.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'd have to put Mark on there. Mark from First Baptist.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like that list. Nice, light, mild list. I'm trying to think of more. Like I remember. Here's a story from the store I probably never told you, or if I did tell you, it was probably in passing. There was a lady that kept calling to the store to get her dryer fixed. She had called, set up an appointment for the next week. Day before the appointment, she called, she canceled. Next day she called back, set up the appointment for the next week. She had done this maybe at least twice, but maybe 3 or 4 times. And so the last time that she called, I answered the phone. I said, "Ma'am, just whenever you ready, just have us come out, because you scheduling and then canceling, that's not working for us." And she said, "Well, my husband is the reason why I'm calling right now." Right. And I said, "Well, is he gonna be home?" And he snatched the phone from her. And I said, "How you doing, sir?" He said, I'm doing okay. He said, "I'm gonna be here at the house on this date. Please come by." I said, "Sir, we've been trying to get in there, but we just can't, your wife keep canceling." She said, "I'm gonna be here."
Right.
I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "I'm out of clean drawers, brother. I'm gonna be here." I said, "All right." So I go. The house is in like Overbrook. So I go to this people's house, and in Overbrook they have in some neighborhoods, but like Mount Airy and Overbrook and some places in West Philly, they'll have the driveways where you can go and you could just through the back. So I set it up with him. I come in through the back and I go in and I tell him, I said, "Listen, before I can do anything with the dryer, you got to move all the clothes and that kind of stuff, just so I have enough room to service the dryer." And he does. And I unplug the dryer and I slide it forward. And I look at the floor. Out the corner of my eye, I see something blinging from the floor. Look at it. It's a ring. I pick it up, put it in my pocket. I serviced the dryer. Dryer ended up needing a belt and an idler pulley. I put it all back together. I call him downstairs, tell him what's going on. No, go ahead and fix it. I got the money. As long as you got the part, Fix everything, put it back, dryer's running, comes downstairs, filling out the paperwork. I call him downstairs. He comes, I'm filling out the paperwork. I say, sir, how long you been married? He says, about 7 years. I said, do you love your wife? And he says, yes. I said, how long ago did she lose her engagement ring? And he said, she told me about it about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, that number probably not correct. It's probably way longer than that. I said, you've been beating her up about it, haven't you? He said, yeah, I've been on her real bad about it. I ain't did nothing special for her since she told me. 3 years. I said, you owe her an apology.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it in his hand. He said, yo, she told me she lost the ring doing laundry. She said, she told me she lost the ring doing laundry. About 2 days go by. The wife calls back.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for finding. I told him. I said, how long was the ring gone? She said 5 years. His mother noticed it. That's why I had to tell her. Because he was hanging out with her mom. She said, well, where's the engagement ring? You didn't tell him? And she had to tell him. That lady came past the store and gave me $150.
Mm-hmm. Is that when you had me that?
Yep. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. All right, come on, man. You gonna bury the lead every time? Every time.
Glad I didn't hold my.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here no more. Oh my God. Tell me, there's all right, so there's been 3 times in my life where you scared me. Or I was scared to talk to you about something. Right? The first time was when I dropped out of college. I didn't know how to tell you that I dropped out of college.
You never went back.
And no, I did not go back. No. I got hired at a McDonald's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and never worked there a day. Also lived in a shelter for 2 weeks with a car. I had a car outside, but I was living in a shelter because I didn't know how to come home and tell you that. The second time, that wasn't even the first time. That was the second time. The first time you ever scared me is when we were you took us to Disney World. And I know it was Disney World because of the DeLand story, which I will tell at some point in the future. When you took all of your kids to Disney, the 4 of us, it was me, Daryl, Jonathan, and Kyan. When we got there, before we left, of course, I was of driving age and had my driver's license. I was 15. And when we got down there, he pulled me, before we even went into the house, the timeshare, you pulled me to the side and said, if anything happens to me, take my wallet and drive your brothers home. This was after we got the rental car. I don't know why, but that was the scariest thing anybody had ever said to me. Because I had never thought of of course anything could happen, but I wasn't, I was 15. I didn't know. So was that was first, then the college thing was second. The third time I was ever scared to call you was the night that I found Jonathan deceased. I didn't know what to say or how to say it. And really to this day, I'm still kicking myself because the week before I saw Jonathan, he didn't look healthy, and I told him that he needed to go to the hospital. And I feel bad that I didn't make him go to the hospital because they could have possibly helped him.
Yeah.
I miss that nigga, man. I really had to. I remember when we first got him, when you won the custody, and we brought him home. He couldn't say 3, and we kept asking him, "How old are you?" "I'm free." "We know you free. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves in 1865, but how old are you?" "I'm free. I'm 3 years old." Could not stop laughing at this shit, even as a child, man. I miss him. I like North Carolina, and he liked Duke, and I like the Eagles, and he liked the Bills, and you liked San Francisco.
I like the Eagles more.
I know, but you still. When Jonathan passed, it hurt real bad. Because I remember the week it happened. It was the week we were getting ready to go play Minnesota was coming here for the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
That weekend, Jonathan was working with these people that was like I think it was like a scheme. I think it was like a Ponzi scheme or whatever. It was like AmeriLife or American Life or whatever, and y'all could fizzle that out later because I don't remember the name of it, and if I say the wrong thing, we could be sued. But we were supposed to go to Atlanta for a conference.
Right.
I just gave that nigga $400 because he was going to do he was going to, set the flights up in the hotel and everything. And he didn't answer me. We were supposed to go to the airport the next day. And I said, let me go up here. And I went up there and found whatever. And, I called you. We went back. We cleaned his whole apartment out. And
you never came across them tickets? Or?
Never came across that money. None of that. All that shit went up in smoke. Now, if anything, I think the lease lady kept it. But I don't think she never went down
there. Yeah, I don't think so.
But the day before, what was the day before? Either the day before or 2 days before, we went to the funeral home, which is not far from where we are. Actually, it's about 2-3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Shout to them. This is right off the what's that? Baton and Shelton, the around the corner from the firehouse. I'm gonna tell this last joint, and I think I'm done. When we walked in, we go in, and you and Mom, you and Flo, y'all the coolest parents ever. For the fact that y'all buried him in a Jerome Brown jersey and Jabot jeans and Timberland boots, and I will forever be grateful that y'all did that. And I know y'all didn't do it for me. Y'all let him go out how he rocked.
Right. Well, he trusts you.
Right. And I always appreciated that. And I got to do a joke on stage about that. But that's for another time. So when I saw my brother, I instantly began to weep because this was the person I knew the longest. And, it still hurt, especially because I was the one that found him, and I'm just a myriad of emotions. And I stepped off to myself and started crying, and you followed me. You followed me over to where I was standing alone crying at, and you put your arm around me, and you were consoling me. And Mom sat down. She's looking at the casket. She says, "These people did a great job with my baby. When I go, I want these same people to do for me the job that they did for my son." And you looked over at her and said, "No, you're getting cremated." And she said, "What? Cremated? Stop playing, because that's not funny." He was like, "No, you getting cremated. And once I have you cremated, I'm going to have you put in a bag." And she said, "What? You want me cremated and put in a bag?" And he was like, "It's not a regular bag. It's a Ziploc bag." And she is incensed at this point and storms out of the room. And I am standing there, and my tears of grief and despair and anguish have turned to tears of joy, because you're an asshole. And I said, "Dad, why I'm wiping snot bubbles?" I'm like, "Dad, why would you have your wife cremated and put in a Ziploc bag?" And you said, "It don't matter." I said, "What? It don't matter?" He said, "Yeah, it don't matter. This is the first strong wind. I'm letting her go." And I said, "What? Why? Why would you do this horrible thing? Why would you just be letting her go?" And you said, "I can't walk around with dirt in my pocket." And that was arguably the greatest laugh I ever had.
I can see her blowing now.
She gonna kick your ass. She gonna kick. She gonna beat you. Wanna beaten. This. Oh my God.
They can move.
Hey.
That's the best I can tell her. It can move.
Oh my God. We gotta close this mess. This real quick, what, you've seen a lot of things, you've been a lot of places. What were some of your inspirations? Like what motivated you to like go to the military? You said it was time to go. What motivated you when like you and your wife didn't work out to grab your sons? Because a lot of black men don't. A lot of men, period. I'm not even gonna put that on black men. A lot of men just don't go back for their children. What inspires you to do that?
No, my father left me. He didn't come back home. You know, matter of fact, I never remember him being there. And I said, if I ever got old enough to have children, you know, I'm going to take care of my children. Period. You know, no question.
Right.
I'm always take care of my children.
I love you for that. Any regrets other than making me? Because I know that's gonna be your first regret. We already know that. No, but real talk. Any regrets? If you had like all to do over again, is there one or two things directions that you maybe would have moved in or done something differently?
Yeah, I would have. I think pushing to get that job with the city fire department, I would push that harder.
You would have became like a
City fire.
a city, like a firefighter, Philadelphia firefighter. Okay. Your faith in God is unquestionable. Why?
My faith is hinged off my grandmother and my mother, that they believed in God and the thing God does for you. You know, that God will watch your back when nobody else will cover your back. You know, that you run into, there's no unanswerable questions. You know, that if you can't answer it, if you give it to God, God will answer it. Period. You know, and He may not answer it in your space and time, but you will get an answer. You know, you will get an answer. And you will know when you got that answer.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I can't say it. Usually my closing line is I'm tired of bumping my gums, but I didn't have my teeth in the whole time, so I can't even use that one. I think we covered a lot. I know we covered a lot.
I got a couple more stories.
Let's go.
Off.
No, we don't have to get off, but I was closing out of respect. You a married man, and it's almost about to be 8:45. We don't want you getting a beating.
My greatest service call.
Okay, let's go.
Went to this woman's house, younger, a couple years younger than me.
Time frame, 80s, 70s. Well, it had to be the 80s.
80s.
Okay.
Knocked on her door. She opened the door, let me in, and what seemed strange was women always done one of two things. Either let me in and just close the door, or let me in, then lock the door.
Right.
She put the chain on the door, which struck me strange, but it's her house.
Right.
And when I went in her house, you had to go into the kitchen, the doorway just before the kitchen, and go down the steps. And the wash machine was darn near right up under the front door.
Okay, so you had to walk the length of the house and back.
So I checked the machine. She needed a pump and belt. Walked up and told her how much I was going to charge her. She said, no problem. Walked outside, the truck parked directly in front of the house. Got a pump and belt, came back in, got the machine over, trying to get this pump and belt on. It's the weekend, my last stop.
Right.
I'm working my behind off on this washer, and I hear the door. I hear the chain grab.
Okay.
hear her walk to the door, drop the chain, open the door. I hear this feet walk in, this second set of feet.
Mm-hmm.
I hear this argument ensue. I hear a body hit the floor. Now, all this time, I ain't even slow down.
You trying to get the machine fixed?
I said, wait a minute. Let me go up here and check on my money.
You right.
I go upstairs. This boy got his knees on her shoulders,
Okay.
beating her in the face.
Oh Lord.
He was shocked. He was completely shocked to see me.
Right.
And he's trying to explain to me why he's abusing
this woman.
But I don't want to talk to him.
Because he don't got your money.
As far as I know, he didn't.
Right.
But I was gonna find out. And through the blood in her mouth, I asked her, I said, paying this bill. She said, I am, sir. Ah, you got to go.
He drug him right outside.
I grabbed him by his collar and the back of his belt.
Walked it through him outside.
Him through the door so fast. Helped him down the steps. Locked the door. You know, put lock and chain on. I go downstairs and I'm just about finished fixing the machine. And I finished fixing the machine. And in the meantime, she comes down. And she's going to try to talk me and what happened, you know.
Right.
Her relationship with this idiot.
That was just punching her in the face.
Like he was her father. But, and I never believed in doing violence to women.
Right.
You know. She paid my bill. But in the meantime, this idiot that I threw out the house, he's out in the front of the house hollering and screaming, in there with my woman.
After you done took him down.
I'ma kill him. I'ma kill him. Soon as he walk out here, now the neighbors started to stop. They drawing a crowd. Man, the woman pays me and she tips me.
Sorry about that.
I grab my tools, open the door, and I guess the way I came out the door, he wasn't expecting me right then.
Okay.
He knew I had to come out, but
Right.
he wasn't expecting me to come out right then. He saw me and he just ran for me. I'm gonna whip his behind. But before he could get to me, with the speed he was running at me, I let my toolbox go in his chest.
Oh shit. Yo.
He went from running forward to going backwards.
Remember how heavy that toolbox was?
He hit the side of my van and slid down the thing. Completely out of breath.
Of course, you just took it all with the tools.
You got lucky. Say you lucky I don't stomp your brains out.
Right, because you didn't attack her. Now you trying to attack me.
Hey, and I said, you know, matter of fact, I done fell in love with your woman.
I'll be back later.
No, I'm taking your woman.
You,
I'm here now.
you didn't take that.
I'm taking this woman. You don't know how to treat her.
Right, what you saw.
I'm taking your woman. You better not come back up here no more. And he walked away cussing and spitting. And I get a call from her a week later. When you coming home? You ran my man away. You told him that you were taking over. When are you taking
When
over?
is the takeover? That's funny.
Yeah, like the little man in the back of my head.
No, because you see yourself ending up trying to punch her in the face with knees on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad John. I got so many freaking stories about the store. Dad, I thank you for coming on here today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when this will be out, but I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you. This was awesome. This was episode 5 of the No Chops podcast with special guest Ham, Mr. Hamilton from 52nd and Larchwood, Hamilton Washington Dryer Service, Deacon Walker, whatever you want to call him. I call him the dude. That was my nickname for him growing up because he needed one and he didn't have one, so I gave him one. Dad, I thank you. I love you. This was awesome. I'm not taking the teeth out this time. And I ain't got to put them back in, none of that. So this is over. You should do something. Oh, while I have the floor, shout out to Poe Sandwich Joint, 1710 North 5th Street. Best sandwiches in the city. Hit them up, get some. You know, I got my apparel on. You know what I mean? Grab a shirt, grab some grub. The grub is ridiculous. Get some. And with that, you can come hit this fucking record button, Mike. I think that's the wrap. This was awesome.
Excellence!